Hey YouTube, it's kind of a tired update. It's going to be a short one. It's been a rather taxing few weeks. About 3 weeks ago, the hard drive on my main computer decided to start dying, I suppose. Something got corrupted pretty deep down in Windows anyway. I was pretty sure it was a hard drive fault. I did a wipe and reinstall, and while the problem was lessened, it was definitely still there. Everything was like chugging and jumping, and the mouse was jerking across the screen, and something was definitely up regarding file copying, low-level stuff. I don't know, but I decided at the time I could either throw 60 quid down the hole, buy a new hard drive, and patch it up for another sort of 8-12 months. But the machine itself was a throw together rescue job at the time after my last machine died. I just pulled one out of storage, threw it together, and got it working in a really nasty sort of throw together, copy over the top Windows install. And I figured, while I could say 30-60 quid, I didn't really have to hand. At the time, you're going into debt to make another temporary repair to the machine in the hope that it would last me long enough to get the cash together to buy one outright. I figured that's really not worth it. I'm not going to be patching things along. Who knows what will fail next? I won't have the money to cover it. So I went on scan.co.uk, their only computer shop that I know of that does financing if you spend over 300 quid. So I figured, okay, I'll go on financing. I've got a repayment scheme. I can handle that. So I just bought a whole new machine. I bought all the parts, built something quite nice, and it is very nice. Upgrades, and it's got a 3.4 gig processor, 64-bit, 4 cores, 16 gig of RAM, which is the most that Windows 7 Premium Home Edition can handle. Got a nice updated graphics card, nothing fancy, 70 quid card. It's got enough to do some reasonable work on it. It's CUDA supported, so I thought, got CUDA support. If I had some video editing software, which I've wanted for a long time, some video editing software that supports CUDA, so I can get that sped up. And basically, I've just gone for the entire new machine, all new parts. There's one. The CD drive's old. And technically, it's using the parts from an IBM XT, and I've got a small Molex extender cable in there, which just needed to jump a gap there. Used a case that was going to be going to a friend of mine. They never got back to me about it. I was constantly 3 months, and they never got back to me, so I've recycled the parts there. So I've got quite a nice, quiet case through it all, and it's meant I've managed to get the eSATA connection for my local backups working again. I also threw about 170 down on. I spent about £1,000 total, so I'm going to pay it back for about 2 years at 40 quid a month. It isn't too bad. But yeah, threw about 160-70 down the hole at getting some network attached storage as well. So I've got 2 terabytes on a RAID 0. So if one drive fails, it's always backed up, and we're using that transfer to maintain coherent data between the workshop here and my main machine by running through a network attached storage. It means these files, I don't have to edit them down here on a slow old machine. I can throw them on the network, I can get them on the local machine upstairs, a nice machine, do the video editing there, and hopefully make things a lot nicer there. Which I'm learning the software there, which is Sony Studio Platinum 12 with a load of little extra bits and bobs that was on sale. And so that's all working right, that's all sorted, and I thought, fantastic, that's all great, and the machine down here had a gigabit connection, so that's going to be transferring, it's going to be quite easy. I've got some freeware backup software which will maintain. It'll keep the mirrors updated, so if I update my recipe files or my order files or anything like that on the NAS, it'll just transfer it down here, transfer any updates there to the NAS before I shut down, all the rest it will keep updated. So it took me about a week to get it all tweaked and so on, learning a few little oddities of Windows 7. I went for an SSD boot drive and trying to keep that so it doesn't wear out too fast. I did a lot of the tweaking there, learned a few things, had to reinstall it 3 times to get that working right. Turns out while you can move the user data folder, you've got to change a few of the internal settings, otherwise you can't do the that Windows analysis of your system. You've got to change some of the settings in the registry files there. You also can't move the program data folders, which I wanted to as well. I tried that the first time. You can't move those without disabling Windows Update, and Windows 7 relies on Windows Update for every driver. So you can't update any of your drivers or security things if you try and move that file, so you just have to put up with that. But yes, I eventually got it working. I got all my emails back. I didn't lose any data. Everything seems to be present and correct. So I come down here after that week. Yes, I can get back to work. I can get back on track, and I come down here, and the machine in the workshop is dead too. So that's provided me with a problem for the last few days, because the machine down in the workshop had all the latest updates on my little recipe files. With my recipes being the things with the recipes, the ratios of all the chemicals and powders and reinforcing compounds and the rest that I use for making all the resin things that I sell. And that's a problem. Fortunately, it turned out that wasn't the hard drive that went on that, it was the motherboard, which, yeah, it's not a great improvement. But because I bought all new parts for the indoor machine, it meant I had a carcass sitting around I could use it to replace it with. So I've brought that down here, reinstalled that, that's all working now. It's been a bit... because right at the start of this, I was like, okay, before I knew the machine down here, I'd already thrown some more of the business money at buying new bits for just finishing everything, all the little jobs, all the remoldings, all the stuff, because I've been really lagging behind on this sort of thing. This is a Womble, as in I am a Womble. This isn't a Wombleblog about wombling. But yeah, yeah, I've got lots of little things. I haven't finished doing a new shell. I haven't got the plastic replicas, masters of all horns done yet. I haven't finished doing all the little bits and bobs, which I want to redo. So I've got all those bits, and I've already thrown some money at getting some new pump oil for the vacuum pump there. So I figured while this was reinstalling, I'd drain the pump and put some oil. Getting the fuel, the oil level was getting really low on it. So I drained it out, and what should be, it should be sort of just off water clear. That's what came out of the pump. You can see the sludge at the bottom there. That's horrible. And then I took the front of the pump off because I figured it wasn't all coming out, and there was more sludge inside. The pump was in a really gross state, and the seals were almost knackered. I've put it all back together. The seals are obviously holding, but they're not going to hold again if I open it up again. So I'm looking at it. It'll last probably months on this new. I mean, I turned it on though, and it kicked out a load more slurry from hiding somewhere deeper in the pump. But it should last a few more months, at very least, before I need to change it again. Which will be a few more months, because I'm looking at having to get a new seal and repair kit for it, which will include new vanes and all the rest of it. The pump itself, it's massive overkill for what I use it for at the moment. I mean, it's a scientific grade pump. It pumps down really well. It can get down to an ultimate pressure in the 10 to the -4, which is obscene. But it's what I had to hand, because I managed to scavenge that a few years ago. But then again, I never really did any repair work to it at the time, and I could, probably sell it for a few £100 to the right sort of dealer, and get in, a bog standard refrigeration refurbishment pump, which should probably do just as well. And I am kind of debating that. I know it needs some refurbishment, obviously. I know I'll get a couple £100 for it back, so I might be up a couple hundred at the end, but I know it wouldn't be quite as good a pump, and you see where I'm going with this. I'm going on the idea. I want to see how much I can actually get for it before I do that. But yeah, this needs updating. But we've got a machine down here that's running now, as you can tell. I might be doing some video blogging from the indoor as well, because I bought another life cam. Cocked up a bit. Actually bought the notebook life cam, which is tiny and has no real effective mount for mounting it on anything. But I'm going to be learning the video editing softwares. Hopefully my videos will soon, I'll be taking a little break from them, and they'll be coming out a lot nicer, and I'll be happy with them. But yeah, I've also got to do a lot down here. I've got to pull the business out the hole, because I'm doing terribly at it. I've also got to prep the workshop for winter, and that means finishing off a lot of the rewiring, and rigging up the heating system that I haven't quite got round to, because I've never found quite enough pipe to do it yet, because I was going to be a wood burner and circulating water and all the rest of it. I've also got to re-rig the lighting in here, because the lighting is terrible, and it's giving me horrible eye strain. Doors and seals need doing. There's loads of little bits. In addition to the stuff that actually brings in the money, there's a lot of stuff that needs doing here. In the next couple of days, I've got to pull parts out of the house to put the security cameras up and rerun the cables for those, and it's just so. I mean, look at me. I look terrible, and this is the reason why I've not been sleeping. There's so much to do and so little energy with which to do it. I am just. But at the very least, this will probably be the first video I upload where I just, it will not be edited per se, but I'll run it through the video editing software to get my hand in and see if I can learn a few interesting little things. I might throw a title on it or something, I don't know. God, I want some sleep. Alright, good night YouTube. I will be updating things on my YouTube channel as well, probably. Had a bit of a scare with Google Chrome, found out how... You go to Google Chrome settings, if you log on with YouTube, that's a Google account, it will automatically associate your Chrome browser with it as a Google wallet, which means it stores all your data remotely by default, including all your passwords, which was a bit frightening. So I log on, I was like, oh, there's my passwords. If I click on them, it clicks show. I can see all my passwords in plain text. And this is going to happen on any machine that I've logged into YouTube with, because it will automatically associate the Google Chrome browser on that. It's really frightening when you get to that point where it's like you're no longer... I mean, I used to be the paranoid one. I used to be the guy who was always telling people, oh, you want to upgrade to Firefox, that's really... You really want to use AdBlock, you really want to use these things, which are now, like, common knowledge everywhere. And now I'm falling behind. I was like, that's the sort of thing you'd think you'd hear about. But no, it's just, like, completely transparent. I mean, I'm sure it's in the terms of service somewhere, but, it's not made obvious. So the moment you log on to YouTube, that thing's associated with your Google account, and that's automatically associating it to remotely store all your passwords and all your autofill stuff, which includes, of course, your addresses and your debit card information, your credit card information, and it's all stored on Google remote servers, which, of course, have a financial liability of 0 to you because it's a free service, but they're loving to claw their way into all your stuff, and I'm going to cut this short now because this is turning into a bit of a ramble, and I did actually womble some stuff today, and it's a big iron. It's a big steam iron with a big external steam tank, and I'm too tired to do it now. I really am. I'm going to sign off now and get on with something before I drop dead. Right, take care YouTube. See you in a little while.